Here, what are you talking about?
Good morning, everyone. Waiting on Dylan.
Yeah. You're not?
Not really.
Let's see.
He did a quick check outside. It's what, like 10 minutes after 8. We're still on the storm track. We know some people are already getting their snow. Good morning, everyone. Happy storm day. It's here. Lisa,
Happy
Scott, Dylan here. I don't know. There's nothing really to be happy about when it comes to this.
We're trying to be positive.
We're trying to be positive. Remember, you can watch this anytime on your feed. We do it live in the morning, but it stays there all day long. We're also on our InForum YouTube channel. We make this into a podcast, so you can listen to it later as well. Just go to inforum.com/podcast and look for the InForum Minute. Also, be sure to check out the weather blog tracking this whole storm too. Of course, the Storm Tracker weather app, a great tool right now, but also inforum.com. A great resource as well if you're trying to track everything that's happening, because it's a lot to talk about and a lot to follow. I mean, even just like the snow totals, depending on where you are, and you know, like I said right away, people are seeing snow right now, just not in Fargo yet.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty close. Wapaton, I know, is seeing snow. Breckenridge, along the North Dakota-South Dakota border for sure. Fargo, probably next couple hours. It'll be here. Probably by the 11 o'clock show, it'll be snowing. It's moving on its way to the north. I'm just looking at radar from here, and it's there's a little bit to the south, so it's continuing to move its way northward. And when it starts snowing, it's when things start to get ugly pretty quick. So up by the Canadian border, if you're watching from there, probably won't get it until later on this afternoon. But once it starts snowing, it's going to snow, and then the wind's going to slowly pick up throughout the day. It's not going to be windy right away. It's not windy out there this morning, but by the time we get to the end of the day, we'll have wind gusts close to 40 miles an hour out of the northeast. And then tonight, continuing, the heaviest of the snow will be this evening, going throughout the overnight hours. And then tomorrow, the snow will slowly be ending. Yes, there will still be some light snow flurries, but it's going to be very windy. That's when the blizzard warning really goes into effect. Winds are the northwest, north gusting up to 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
That's going to cause blizzard conditions, and that's where travel is going to be impossible. There's no doubt about it. Interstates will be closed. I'm sure of it. There's going to be no travel advised for much of our viewing area, just because it's going to be quite bad when we get, our current snow forecast for the largest, I guess, of the area is an 8 to 15 inch risk. So, or that's our forecast. So I know there's reports of some people 20 inches, 2 feet, or other reports on social media from people that not necessarily are meteorologists, but our forecast 8 to 15 inches. So that's what we are going with. And you can always look at that. We'll continue to update that on the InForum article. So that's in inforum.com.
A lot to watch, and the road conditions certainly going to be a big factor throughout the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yes, no, for sure. Yeah, there definitely are going to be. And also power outages, that's going to be a possibility. This will be heavy, wet snow. And like I said, about our forecast is 8 to 15 inches. That plus wind, of course, the heavy, wet snow can stick onto the power lines, and that can actually cause some power outages. So something to watch there. You just make sure you have your phone charged, water, there's a whole bunch of other
Gassed up. Your car gassed up.
Yep, make sure that's a good thing. So in case you do decide to even commute to work, from work to home tonight, it's going to be a tricky commute too. So hopefully tomorrow you don't have to go anywhere, but if you do, make sure you have that emergency kit in your car, because it's not going to be good. It's going to be really bad tomorrow morning.
If you thought you had travel plans, probably going to have to change those.
What did Lydia say earlier?
No go.
It's a no-go.
It's a no-go.
Not happening.
Exactly.
Oh, boy.
So that's that. But bright side after this, we have temperatures in the middle 30s Friday, and then upper 30s, low to mid 40s for the rest of the 10 days. So spring is almost here. And important with those upper 30s, low 40s is during the night, our current forecast for the stretch going into next week is we actually drop below freezing, which is good for flooding. Of course, we don't want to be, we want to be warm in the afternoon, but we want to slow the flooding or the melting. The melting is the word I'm thinking of overnight, because if you slow the melting overnight, then it allows everything just to kind of catch up, and then we start melting again. That's good news for the 10 days. So.
All right.
But no big storms in the forecast after this one. That's going to probably stick with us. The impacts will until Thursday.
All right. Well, there's some good news. Light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
Old Man Winter doesn't want to go out easily. So give us one more punch.
One more day in the blizzard.
All right, Dylan. Thanks for breaking it all down for us. We appreciate it.
All right. Going along with the big story, which is the weather, even before the flakes started falling, a lot of schools made the call. I thought the Fargo School District made the call pretty early yesterday afternoon, switching to e-learning, West Fargo as well. And before I jump into that, I was going to say, I just saw an email come in from Badger The Badger Community School will be releasing students at 1 this afternoon, and there will be no school activities tomorrow, no school buses, everything's going to be e-learning. So I feel like you're going to continue to see these closures, delays. But of course, the big ones, West Fargo and Fargo-Moorhead, I'm kind of jumping ahead here a little bit, but Moorhead, they are in school today, but they're going to be getting out a little bit early. But we didn't ask Dylan about this, and we should have, because he talked yesterday about getting your groceries. Remember, we talked about that. He wouldn't tell us which store he was going to. But a lot of us did, because we listened to our, Storm Tracker weather team, and Lydia said, stock up now. Well, a lot of our crews did go to the store yesterday, and grocery store shelves
Picked over.
Yeah.
Stuff gone. I went to Walmart. Almost all the bottled water was gone. I got one of the last containers, and I was there, or packages, and I was there at like 10 in the morning. So it wasn't like late in the day. And people were there. Lines were crazy long. So people taking it seriously for sure.
And Lydia and I were talking about Easter's this weekend. People are still getting, there's a shortage of eggs in some places because people are stocking up, but also you need to dye those eggs when you're at home. So
Yes,
if you can find eggs, you're lucky. Also, not only stocking up since you're going to be stuck at home, plow crews kind of plotting their attack right now. West Fargo Street Department, they say they're actually pulling personnel from all departments because they want to really attack this storm. They're going to go 24 hours a day, like now through Friday. Moorhead city crews are urging people not to park on the streets because once the snow starts, they want to be plowing, and they don't want to have to be plowing around all of those cars out there.
Yeah, and that really applies pretty much everywhere, I think.
Yeah,
Don't park on the street if you don't have to, because that's going to make it more difficult to clear that snow. So.
And then your car is going to be the one that's got the big, huge, all of that foot of snow is going to be a lot bigger all around your car.
Shovel out of that spot. So, all right, there's a lot of stuff we're following this morning. One other thing we're following is flights out of Fargo. We're tracking canceled flights throughout the morning. So if you're heading to the airport, make sure you check your flight status before you go there. Make sure it's still happening. If it's happening later today, you probably count on it not happening because it's going to be bad. But check before you go to the airport this morning.
And if you want to take a look at, like the school delays and some of the different closings, that Storm Tracker weather app, a great place to go. You open it up, the first thing on the top is the red banner. That's, school closures, delays, and just, it's easy to go there, and the number of, changes are just growing really by the minute. So check it out there, all in one spot.
Yeah, and it's not just going to be today. It's going to be through tomorrow into
Right.
Thursday. So
Absolutely.
keep that Storm Tracker weather app close by.
Today, Governor Doug Burgum is also taking precautions ahead of the winter storm, as well as potential flooding impacts, by signing a bill that would provide additional funding for snow removal. This morning, I believe in about less than an hour, he's going to be talking about this bill, the preparations that are underway. This bill that he plans on signing would put $20 million into emergency snow removal. So we'll have a crew at that news conference this morning, and we'll update you throughout the day. But actions are being taken right now ahead of the storm.
Yeah. Meantime, the city of West Fargo is making an emergency declaration. Now, this is more related to spring flooding, but this comes after a meeting with Senator John Hoeven. City, county, and state leaders came together to talk about preparations ahead of potential flooding this spring. Cass County is already planning to fill 100,000 sandbags. That's going to be starting next week. This emergency declaration in West Fargo will help the city monitor, manage, and recover from potential flooding impacts this spring. It would also give local governments more resources and funding that are not normally budgeted.
This is a big story that we've been tracking for you as well. The North Dakota State legislature has passed a series of bills on transgender people. It's now going to be heading to Governor Doug Burgum's desk. Covers several areas from restrictions on health care for transgender minors to high school sports participation, bathroom use, and also birth certificates. They all passed on Monday with likely veto-proof majorities. The penalties range from bans when it comes to participating in sports and using bathrooms, but also to Class B felonies, which are punishable by up to 10 years in prison. That sentence could be given to a doctor if they would perform a gender change operation on a child. A lot to this. If you want to read the full breakdown of what is being discussed in these bills and what's moving forward, you can read this story on InForum.com.
All right, sticking with government at the state level, the North Dakota State House has upheld Governor Doug Burgum's veto of a bill that would have raised the speed limit on interstates in North Dakota. The bill would have raised the speed from 75 to 80 miles an hour, but Burgum cited his Vision Zero initiative, which is a plan to reduce traffic deaths, as the reason behind vetoing that bill.
Of course, another big, huge story today. Today, former President Donald Trump will become the first president, current or former, to surrender on criminal charges. It's believed there could be some 24 counts involved, including felonies. All this morning on First News, we were looking live at the Trump Tower. We know he arrived yesterday. That's where he's staying. We're expecting, today he's going to leave there to go to the courtroom. Of course, the Secret Service will bring him there to be arrested. Those charges stem from an investigation into hush money payments in the final weeks of the 2016 election, but we're hearing now that the charges could expand from there to maybe other business or campaign finance violations. Of course, it's all sealed right now, so we don't know a lot of the details yet. Hoping to learn more today. And then, this is another big part of it, like we're waiting for that, but then once he leaves the courthouse, Trump has said that he plans to return to Mar-a-Lago, where he plans to speak later tonight. But here's the big part of that. The judge could issue a gag order, and if that happens, then of course, what would the former president be able to say, and that could turn into a whole thing. Yeah,
And
it's
then
just
there's the protesting aspect of
Right.
it. So we're going to just continue to follow this, of course, locally with our news station, but you can count on all the national outlets are going to be all over this thing all day. So it's going to be the
Absolutely.
top story throughout the day. Besides, of course, our blizzard here
Storm.
locally. All right, let's talk about some sports. We know Dom has Hot Mic. It goes from 9 to 11 in the morning. You can watch it on WDAY Extra and InForum.com. The big talker today, college basketball season now officially over. There's a new champion in the men's division, Division I men's basketball. The Yukon Huskies, they beat San Diego State, the Aztecs, 76-59. Now, UConn has played in 6 Final Fours before, and in 5 of those times that they've been to the Final Four, they actually won the national title. So, pretty good track record.
Yeah.
I didn't stay up to watch the game last night. You said you stayed up.
Yep. Early in the game, very early in the game, but the Aztecs were up, and I was like, oh, I thought, San Diego was supposed to be, and then, of course, UConn kind of.
Yeah, it was a fun,
Very
fun
physical
tournament.
game. But yeah, it was fun. March Madness is always, it's sad it's come to an end now, but
It's a good time of the year.
it is.
All right, you can watch that on WDAY Extra, Inform.com, 9 to 11 with Dom Izzo. Also, we want to tell you, don't forget to go subscribe to Inform.com. Right now, you can get an all-access pass for your first 3 months. It's only going to cost you 99 cents, which is pretty much a steal, so take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a great place to get all of your local, national weather headlines, sports headlines, all in one place. And Dylan already talked about this. Coming up at 11, our next newscast, he'll be tracking the storm. It'll be snowing for sure by then, so he'll be able to give us kind of some updates as to how it's taking shape and how much snow we're getting. So, and then this afternoon again, which will be in the heart of it, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Join us for more WDAY news. We'll have team coverage of this massive storm, and then tomorrow morning again as well. Team coverage. Dylan will be out live in it to kind of, show us, while you're sleeping, what happened. It's, very
It's gonna be a
dynamic.
mess. It's going to be a mess.
It's gonna be a mess.
All right,
You won't want to
folks,
miss it.
Stay safe. Prepare for the winter storm. Join us throughout the day for updates. Thanks for joining us now. Bye.